Hebrews 11:27, it says this about Moses. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Moses endured the dark age because he saw him who is invisible. He saw the light, and he walked in the light. Now, in the life of Moses, sometimes the angel of the Lord, the divine one, was very visible. Other times in Moses' life, God was invisible. What did Moses do? He lived as though the invisible God was visible. And that's what we're to do as well. You put the Lord on. Some of you are thinking, I can't endure another day. How are you going to get through that? It's too dark. Not by being tough. You get through by seeing him who is invisible. That's how Moses got through. The year is 1991. Tonneruin Primary School. A young Owen Batstone is there. I had committed a series of crimes as a 6-year-old. My record was dark. On book club day, I remember the teacher gave the magazines out. You got to pick a book and order it. A few weeks later, it would arrive. I wasn't interested in the book. I always wanted the one that came with the dinosaur rubber. You ever have a dinosaur rubber and you get those books? I collected those dinosaur rubbers. Problem is, I also started nicking everybody else's dinosaur rubbers on book day. And then, going from memory, I think I tried to sell them in the playgroup for extra milk, because I like milk. It was a little racket I had. Another time, the teacher said, Owen, do not touch my sharpener. And she had those big old square metal sharpeners. Do you remember them? I was always fascinated because she'd pull the front out and the thing went inside and she'd wheel the wheel. Don't touch it, Owen. Anyway, she left the room. I touched it. And she came back in the room. I didn't realize. And I pulled the thing out and it slammed back shut because for some reason I was on a spring. I was trying to figure out what was going on. And when the teacher was angry, she said Batstone in Welsh. Owain Carreg Bat. That's all I remember from that one. Another time, same year, sitting in assembly, there was a girl in front. I stuck chewing gum in her hair. Naughty boy, wasn't I? Problem is, the girl's dad is now an elder in the church around the corner, so we've got to tread carefully, see? Then one day in a school assembly, whole school was there. The head teacher singled me out because my record was dark. And he gave me a wash bag and pajamas and a teddy bear in front of everyone. He'd probably be arrested for that today, wouldn't he? But he got away with it back then. And he said, you are coming home with me tonight unless you have a good record. You need a record of light because it's dark. And then he vanished into his office. So the visible man suddenly was invisible, but I knew he was still there. And I thought that day, if I don't live like he's still visible with me in this classroom, I'm not going to see my mum again. I'm not going home to my 2 cats, Tom and Jerry. And even though he was invisible, boy, did I live like he was there. And even though that girl's hair still never looked so squishy that I could just put things in, I didn't do it again. And even though that sharpener looked so fascinating to me, I lived as if he was visible because I need a record of light to shine the light in the darkness. And even though those dinosaur rubbers, they kept arriving, boy, did I want to nick them. I didn't anymore. And I fought against it for a good report. And I lived in the light because I knew he was visible, though yet invisible. And I tell you what, there's a day coming soon-ish for me. Who knows when? Maybe it'll be a heart attack. I'll be asked to give an account to the one who was invisible, who has asked me to live as light in this dark present age. And the questions will be, did we live in his light and in his hope when the darkness crept in? The illustration's a bad one because the living God is not like a scary head teacher. He's light He's life. He's wonderful. And we get to live for Christ, who wasn't secular. He is wonderfully sacred, and we should be too.